Hello everyone and welcome to my Polish cuisine. Today I am baking half short crust pastry cake with raspberries and the meringue on top as well. So I will place the ingredients list right underneath this video, but I will also go over the ingredients with you right now. So here I have 400 grams of all-purpose flour, and I did pre-sift this, so it's already sifted. I have sweet butter, and that's 200 grams of sweet butter. I cut it up. Powdered sugar, 100 grams. A pinch of salt, a teaspoon of sour cream for the dough. Also, I have here 5 egg yolks. Also, I will use 1.5 teaspoon of the baking powder for this dough. And this is, like I said, it's not a total short crust pastry because I am using the baking powder. Short crust pastry in itself does not need any baking powder. So with the addition of that, this is why I said half short crust pastry. This is a perfect summer dessert just because the raspberries and all the berries in general, they taste way better than in the winter time. And now with the berries, here I have 750 grams of washed. I washed them and I picked them as well just to make sure that there's no bugs in there, no dust or no surprises. So we know what we're putting in our cake. With this, I'm gonna mix this with a little bit of the cornstarch or the flour, potato flour, and also a little bit of the powdered sugar. And as far as the meringue goes, I have my egg whites here, and there's also 5 of them, and 150 grams of granulated white sugar. And with this one, I'm gonna add vanilla sugar. And also I'm going to add 2 puddings, and they are budyn smietankowy, cream flavor. And last but not least is my oil, and I'm going to use 125 mLs of the oil, and this is canola oil. And that's basically it for this raspberry half short crust pastry cake. So let me get started. To bake the cake, I'm gonna use this, it's a spring form pan, and this is 24 centimeters by 24 centimeters, and the depth is 8 centimeters. And of course, I'm gonna line this with parchment paper. And I'm going to start by placing in my flour. I have the dough hooks here. You can also knead with your hand. So in goes the flour and then the butter. So let's add a pinch of salt to this. And let's begin mixing. To this, I'm going to add the sugar. That's the powdered sugar. And also the baking powder. And this is the baking powder. And when it mixes a little bit, then I'm gonna add the egg yolks. And now when the flour starts to crumble with the butter, as you can see here, so now we want to add those egg yolks and keep mixing. So now this dough is becoming to form into a little ball. So I'm adding the sour cream And I will continue to mix this, and then I'm gonna use my hands to roll it into a little ball, and then we're gonna refrigerate it. So now this dough started to come together, so we can form this into a little ball. And now I'm just gonna bring this dough all together. And now this dough has come together very well. As you can tell, it's very soft. So I want the base of the cake to be the same as the top, probably same amount of dough. So let's cut it in half. And this is about half. And now we need to place both of these pieces in the refrigerator, of course wrapped in some foil. And refrigerate for about 30 minutes. We'll be back in 30 minutes. So now the dough has been in the refrigerator for approximately 30 minutes. And I have prepared here 2 layers of parchment paper so that I can roll out this dough in between the papers. Or you can also kind of shred it in the pan. You can cut it and place it in the pan, whatever is easier. I have my son as a helper here. I think this will do. What I do is I kind of roll this dough around and I place it in the pan. This one really sticks a lot. The only thing we need to do is flatten this a little bit, and I'm going to use a spoon. Usually this works best. And now I take my fork and I poke little holes on the bottom of this dough, so that once it starts to rise, it's not gonna bubble up. And I'm going to bake this for about 20 minutes once it starts to get gently browned at 320 degrees Fahrenheit into a preheated oven. And about 20 minutes, and then once this cools, we're gonna place the meringue. So that's the next thing. And now the base of the cake has been in the oven for approximately 18 minutes or so, and it's now baked. You can see the edges. It's still hot. So now in the meantime, let's make the meringue. So I have placed my egg whites in here and a pinch of salt. I'm gonna put these on high speed. And when the egg whites are stiff like this, then what I start doing is placing in the sugar. So a little at a time, and continue mixing the entire time. We'll add the vanilla sugar. So now when my sugar is all beaten in here, I will start add my puddings a little at a time and continue mixing. And towards the end of mixing, gently pour in the oil. A little at a time. The meringue is done. So now the cake is completely cooled and my meringue is here. So I'm just going to pour this over the cake. Make sure to spread it evenly. Now I'm going to transfer the raspberries in here. And let's coat them with a little bit of powdered sugar. And also with the potato flour, just in case that they do leak. So this will absorb their moisture. So now they're nicely coated. And let's place them over the top here. Now I took my dough, actually I froze it, put it in a freezer. So now what I'm gonna do, on my grater, I'm going to grate the top. I'm gonna spread it all over. And now the rest of the dough, or the other half of the dough, is already on top. It's all shredded. And now I'm gonna place it into a preheated oven at 320 degrees for about 35 maybe 40 minutes or so until this is golden brown, and then we can take it out. And the cake is done now. It has been in the oven for actually 40 minutes, but oven temperatures do vary. So remember that. I'm going to take it out now and let it cool completely. So the raspberry short crust pastry has now cooled. So I'm gonna cut around and we'll see how it looks and how it tastes. So I cut the paper off around it. I'm going to cut into the cake and see how it's gonna look inside. So if you like this recipe, please give me the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching.